Hello again. Welcome back to Movie Ninja. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the Christmas snow. Now, with Christmas specials and Christmas movies, there's a certain set of expectations that as an audience we kind of have at this point, which is this is supposed to be a family story that's about everybody being happy, getting presents, and, there's there's a little bit of difficulty with like, oh no, can we get the right gifts, or how big can we make our Christmas party, or things like that. The Christmas Snow is not one of those types of films. If I had to describe it in two words, I would probably put hardship and humanity. What we have with the Christmas Snow is a story centering in a small town in the southern United States, and we have a widow and her two adopted children and their landlord. And the story starts out where the kids have just got, these two children, Amy and Wallace, they're probably not even 10 years old. They just got off of school for the winter break. They go to their mom's candy shop because their mother owns a candy store in the building that they all live in, and they're just the mother makes this offhanded prediction that very soon they're going to have snow, which they never outright say where the location is, but you can kind of piece together that it's probably in the south because everybody mentions that it's really, it's very far flung that's even a possibility. So, because in most parts of the country, it's going to snow during wintertime. Yeah, okay, it's no big deal. So, anyways. So, Mr. Snyder, he comes into the candy shop and he meets Gertrude Mutterance. That's the mother's character. And, the mother says, well, you know what? I've never really liked you, but since it's Christmas, have some free candy. And Mr. Snyder retorts, well, you know what? I've never really liked you. I'll take your free candy. Oh, by the way, you need to find a new place to live in 2 weeks. He doesn't say it in any particularly spiteful way. It seems that he's gotten this notion into his head that there are these new things called turnkey operations or turnkey businesses, and these are businesses like a car wash, or in the case of the Christmas Snow, a laundromat. And all the turnkey operation is, you provide the means, like the machinery, the customer comes in, and they do all the work. Well, they pay for the services as well. But he's like, well, you living here with your kids is not really providing me the lavish lifestyle that I so deserve in my twilight years. So I'm going to turn your candy shop into a laundromat. And you know how you guys are living on the second floor of this 3-story building where I live on the 3rd floor? But yeah, I'm going to need the 2nd story for all the maintenance equipment and soap suds. So, yep, I'm giving you your 2-week notice. And in that time, when you get around to it, within those 2 weeks, you can find a new place for your business and a new place to, for your children to go to school. And of course, when you get around to it, a new place for all of you to live. Gertrude actually takes this with a great deal of stride. You really see the performance that Kathleen Hellman really brings to this character, and it's applaud-worthy in that she's courageous, but she's still vulnerable, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything or hide anything from her children. She tells the children the truth that, hey, this is what life handed us, and we just have to try to do the best that we can to adjust. The holidays in particular, side note, a little bit sidebar here, I'll get back to the story here in a second. The holidays are really fun for children, but they can be really, really stressful for adults. And there's a number of reasons for that. Because, you have to make all this time and planning and preparing to, go to parties, arrange parties, buy presents. There's a lot of extras that in the life of an average adult. You have your rent or your mortgage, you have your utilities, you have your monthly bills, and month by month, these are the things that take priority. Not to mention all the curveballs that life can throw you, like medical bills or car repair bills or things like that. So when it comes to the holidays, sometimes they can be really arduous and stressful, and sometimes those extra expenses can really make a big damaging impact, and Gertie, she sees that, like, okay, you know what, this is what I have to deal with, and I'm gonna do what's right by my kids. So you can sense that probably her character wants to find a corner to crawl into and cry, but she has to keep pressing forward, and she has to do right by her children. And so that means, okay, just have to take the situation and go with it. It's definitely not ideal, and the future is very, very uncertain, but I'm going to do the best that I can for my family so that we can stay together, and we can continue being a family. Because I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this, but her 2 children, they're adopted. So as if her place in life was not uncertain enough, and this is a post-middle-aged woman. I don't know how old Kathleen was when she did this role, but she plays a mature motherly character. And we do get, along the way, we do get a little bit more of Mr. Schneider's story. He's not doing this to be spiteful. He's not doing this, to try to punish these people, even though, as I mentioned, he never really got along with Gertie Mutterance. It's just more that he has it in his mind that he doesn't have family for himself, and as an aging war veteran, I think he sees this as this operation of turning Gertie's candy store into a laundromat as a kind of security. Like it's a business that in theory shouldn't require a lot of maintenance and will provide a steady income, versus having a renter that you lease to on a month by month basis. So we get a little bit of like his story, and without giving too much away, that's the story. A widow mother of 2 has to figure out how to best protect her family and do right by them, and it's heartwarming, it's heartbreaking in so many ways, but like I said, it's about hardship, humanity, and at the risk of spoilers, forgiveness. Things that we kind of get, we forget at this very joyous, it should, on paper, the holidays should be very joyous, but as I mentioned before, it's not just all the factors that I mentioned before, it's also just trying to, on an annual basis, set aside some time to remember what we have, what we should be grateful for, and when people rub us the wrong way, just breathe and just prioritize what's important. There we go. I'm not going to try to, broad stroke some cliche life mantra advice or anything, but amongst all of the stuff that we have going on in our lives, it is nice to just sort of, the year is almost over, new beginnings, new year's just on the way. So when it comes to the stuff that bothers us, just sometimes we have to breathe and just remind ourselves what's really important. So, now regarding the cast, Gertie Mutterance is one of the best mother characters I've ever seen. Not just like in a Christmas special, but just in film in general. And I realize that's a big thing to say, because there's been thousands of motherly figures on screen over the decades. But she is someone that, after you interact with them, like if they're part of your day, you smile. She's someone who is, the glass is half full. The strangers are just friends that you haven't met with. Like that type of personality. And it's an honest blessing to know those people in real life. And it's when you don't have those types of people, this is you see this person and you feel the warmth of their personality, and you want that in your life. You want that association, that friend, or that you wish you had, that family member. Sometimes it's things are hard now, but they'll get better. And when they say it, it doesn't sound like a cliche. It sounds sincere because they mean it sincerely. These are people that have a genuine bright outlook on life. Now, the kids are played by Melissa Joan Hart. Baby Melissa Joan Hart from Clarissa Explains It All and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And both of these kids, I don't know how old they were when they made this, but I'm very safe in saying that they were both under the age of 10. And Melissa Joan Hart, she, they're both orphans, and she says that sometimes she wonders about where she was found, in an alleyway, close to where, their family lives. And she wonders I wonder if anyone ever came looking for me. And if we have to move because we're being evicted, what if they come looking for me and then, they can't find me? Baby, oh my goodness. How is this film making me feel this much? Let me see. She has, I'm guessing, an older brother. When I say older, 6 months, a year? I'm not entirely sure. The kids are pretty much the same age. Kimball Joyner plays Wallace, and he knows where he is in this world. He knows that he's lucky to have his mother as the woman who takes care of him and raises him. And even though, they sometimes don't get along, he's lucky to be the older brother to Amy, Melissa Joan Hart. And he's he's fiercely loyal, and he just has a really good head on his shoulders as a little kid. You see these two, actors, Kimball Wallace and Melissa Joan Hart, and this is quality child actors. A lot of kids, when they're in TV shows or in film, you kind of hesitate to criticize them, even though theoretically there was an audition process, and theoretically the kids on camera are the best kids to play whatever role they were given. But you hesitate because they're kids, it's not like they have a method yet, or whatever. But the thing is, you see Kimball and Melissa, and that kids can be great actors. It also helps with the script. It's a really good script, and the children are written as children, not as stock cardboard kid characters that only think about presents and themselves, and just what we have kind of imagined that kids think thanks to sitcoms and that. But they do a really great job. Sid Caesar plays Mr. Schneider, and in a very subtle, soft-handed way, like I said, we get to know his story a little bit more, and it would be easy to write off this character as the, greedy miser type, and I'm not going to say that he's not, because, still, that's the way that he enters the story. You know, we get the impression that he doesn't like little children, yes, Gertie. By the way, Merry Christmas. You need to find a new place to live in 2 weeks. And she has a conversation with him about this, and he's not budging, you know, because this is the building that he inherited from his father, and he can do whatever he wants with it. You know, and once again, because of events that happen later on, you know, just I'm not going to say anything else, but this is a truly like a tender and heartwarming Christmas special. One of the best that I've seen, you know, and I return to it time and time again. And where a Christmas special's main focus is just kindness and compassion, you know, and courage and hardship. Yeah, it's not really something that you really come across very often in Christmas specials, because most of the time we just want to watch a Christmas special and just be happy by proxy. You know, the people in the special or in the movie, they're happy. So, like, you know, and sometimes it does have that, you know, like, you know, that effect. But, you know, sometimes it's also good to remember that life isn't perfect, you know, and just what it takes sometimes to deal with these types of difficulties, you know, and just remind people that if you have like a stable, permanent like situation, one, be thankful, you know, two, you know, try to reach out to like charities for the less fortunate, because this is like, you know, like that's another big undercurrent in this, is that, like, you know, never take your situation for granted. If you have anywhere close to like a stable residence and a stable family life, you know, because not everyone does, you know. So it's definitely one of those count your blessings type things. You know. Anyways, so before I get a little bit like too somber, that's my general spoiler-free synopsis of The Christmas Snow. It's one of my favorite kind of hidden gem Christmas specials. And if you end up like seeing it, or if you want to see it, you know, it is available for purchase, and it's available to stream on certain internet platforms in English, Spanish, and French. So yeah, feel free to look it up. And if you made it to this part of the video, you are a champ. Thank you. Like and subscribe if you like the video. If you like the video, it helps it to the channel to grow, because it tells the algorithm, hey, people enjoyed this, so, you know, let's push it out there just a little bit more for other people to see. And, you know, I hope you have a good rest of the day. This has been Movie Ninja. Talk to you later.